Welcome to the Secret Math of Money. This show is meant for entertainment purposes only. I hold no financial certifications or information that is not generally available. No guarantees are stated or implied. It is your money, and you are responsible for any decisions you make regarding it. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Happy Memorial Day to all of the people in the service who may be listening to this. Thank you for your service. I hope everybody else is having a safe, enjoyable Memorial Day, whatever you're doing, visiting family or whatever. Just hope that you're doing it safely and that everything goes well for you so we can get back to work tomorrow. But anyway, thank you for tuning in, anybody who's listening. The topic today is, should your grown children pay rent? Now, this came up on one of my Facebook feeds, one of the groups I'm in, an investment group, and the answers were all over the place. And it got me to thinking, maybe I need to discuss this. I had similar discussion with some friends and family about, should your grown children pay rent? And I'll say right up front, let me get all the caveats out of the way. I am not a financial planner. I'm not certified in any way from a financial perspective. So anything I say or do is my opinion only. Take it at your own risk. But on that topic of should your grown children pay rent, one thing I've discovered from talking to a lot of people about it is there really isn't a good answer, because everybody's situation is different. So I guess what I want to do is try to say, is there a way to look at it different, to look at the question differently? Excuse me. It's easy to just say, should your grown children pay rent? Yes or no, and that's it. But that's the low-hanging fruit to me. Is my kid's gonna pay rent because I want him to learn discipline. I want him to learn whatever, and paying rent becomes the stand-in for all these other things. So let's talk about it. So, like I said, what are you trying to accomplish? And now here's the thing about money. Money is going to work for somebody. Money is like, some cities you go to Home Depot and there are a bunch of guys out there who are day laborers, and somebody come by with a pickup truck and say, I need 5 people to do X, 3 to do Y, whatever, and you, and they jump in the truck and they go. And they don't really care who they work for. As long as they're getting paid, they're just going to work. That's how money is. Money's going to work for somebody. So let's remember that up front. Money is going to work for somebody. It don't care who it works for. Money's going to work for somebody. So think about this now. The scenario is your grown child, grown meaning over 18, maybe graduated from college, maybe didn't, whatever, over 18. You as a parent don't necessarily need their income to make your monthly bills. So it's not a situation where everybody's got to work because there's only way we can pay rent for the house or whatever is that everybody's got to contribute. So this is a situation where you don't necessarily need their income. You don't need your children to work to bring home money so that you can keep a roof over everybody's head. So it's an optional thing. So paying rent, let's just caveat that it's optional. So the question is, okay, should you make your kids pay rent? Well, let's talk about what is it you're trying to teach them. I'm trying to teach them discipline. I'm trying to teach them, whatever. And I know some people will have their children pay them rent, for as long as they're there. And when the kid moves out, the person will give them back all the money they paid as a starter down payment on a house or first month's rent or whatever. They'll give them a pile of money. Here it is back. And when I said money's going to work for somebody, think about this. You have your child pay you $500 a month rent. That's $6,000 a year. They stay with you for 5 years. At the end of that 5 years, they decide to move out and they're going to get a house. And you give them back $30,000. Like, oh, wow. Great. But what have you taught your child? You taught your child that you take your money and give it to somebody else and let it work for them, but not for us. Because I looked it up. The average interest rate on a savings account nationwide is 0.07%. Not 7%, 0.07%. So if you give a bank $1,000 for a year, they're going to give you back like $1,000.70 or something like that. In the meantime, the average mortgage right now is around 1 or 2%, which is pretty low. But the average car loan, go to your same bank, look for a car loan. The average car loan is over 5%. So that's the spread. So remember I said money's going to work for somebody. So if you do that, if you take that money and put it in the bank and let it grow, and then you give it back to them, that money hasn't done anything for nobody but the bank, you gave the bank an interest-free loan. Okay, that's what you've done. Okay, and this is what you're teaching your child, to give their money to somebody else. What you ought to be doing, and from that perspective, is teaching your child how to make their money work for them. So what's the difference if instead of your child paying you $500 a month, you tell your child, I want you to invest $500 a month. I mean, I don't need the money to pay the bills. I want you to take and invest $500 a month in stocks or something. I want you to invest. Okay? And imagine if they invest in stocks. Number one, they're learning how to invest. Because let's be real. In this society, this day and age, saving is not enough. You know, you got to invest. If you just save your money, that day laborer, you save your money, you put your money someplace and let other people make money off your money. You know, the banks are telling you you need 6 months of expenses in the bank. And let me tell you something. There's a lot of people who go through unemployment. And that's 6 months of expenses in the bank. You go through that real quick. Okay? But the banks are telling you that. Why? Because they're giving 0.07% interest on your money while taking that money and lending it out at 5%. So that's a big spread that they're making. It's 5.2%. So they're making over 5% on your money. Okay? Money gonna work, just no matter who it works for. So that's kind of what you're teaching your child if you give them back the exact same money that they gave you. Again, maybe instead of saying, here, pay me rent, make them pay 1 or 2 bills. You know, make them say, okay, you know, first of all, they have a cell phone is theirs. They got to pay their cell phone bill. They don't pay the cell phone bill. You give them their own account, let them take their own stuff. They don't pay their cell phone bill, phone gets cut off. So they learn that lesson. But tell them, you know, you got to pay the cable bill. Okay? We're going to, you know, every month, this is how much due on the cable bill. You got to pay the cable bill. Okay? But you also need to invest, you know. And then, you know, it gets into, you know, when I say this thing is a gray area, because it's like, if you're going to charge your child, say, $800 or $1,000 a month rent, and say, well, this is what you would pay on the outside, well, why are they living at home? They could just get their own apartment, okay? So, you know, you make them pay a couple of bills. This is just my suggestion. Once they get situated, you make them pay a couple of bills. And then you have to look at your child. You know your child. Is your child comes out of college or high school, whatever, gets a job, and they get a car, you know, they go out and buy a $50,000 or $60,000 car, then, oh, well, you don't need to live at home because you can afford that. But is your child already very, you know, sensible with their money? You know, they're not out buying $200 Jordans every other week. They're not getting the flyest, nicest, latest clothes. They're not running out to dinner at fat restaurants. They're not blowing money on, you know, a partner, a potential partner. If your child, you know, if your child is not doing that stuff, okay, they're already conservative. They're very conservative with their money. They're very, you know, sensible. Teach them how to budget. Here's the thing. You use that time that your child is home to teach them things. Teach them how to budget. If you don't know how to invest, that's a great opportunity for you and your child to learn, you know, to learn how to invest. The internet is chock full, and YouTube even more so, of instructional videos on how to invest. Okay, they're all out there. There's all kinds of videos out there showing you how to invest, okay, if you want to. So this is an opportunity for you to learn how to invest. I'm sorry. Okay, hey, Rochelle, how you doing? So, you know, that's the thing. What are you trying to teach? So another thing, while you have this time, and I'll just say from my perspective, because I'm kind of in that situation right now. I have a kid that just graduated college. Once he gets a job, gets situated, It's like, okay, let's sit down and build your budget. Let me show you, or even if I don't know, let's learn together how to create a budget. How to create a budget, and but more so why you create a budget. Because at the end of the day, the real thing you want to teach your child, the number one thing, is to be about their money. Okay? When you see these stories of a school teacher or a sanitation person, somebody who has a relatively low income all their lives, and they retire and leave an estate of $2 and $3 and $4 million, and everybody's wondering, how did they do that? Because they was about their money. You know, that's the secret to be about your money. Okay? As I've said before, we look at our parents and say, well, you know, our parents couldn't teach us about money because they was living paycheck to paycheck. And I keep saying it. Those are the best money managers in the world. People that live paycheck to paycheck because they cannot afford to make a mistake. Okay? They cannot afford. Rich people can make mistakes all the time because they got another pile of cash over here to cover their mistake. But poor people who are living paycheck to paycheck cannot afford to make a mistake. And those are the people that we should be listening to. Those are the people we should be asking and learning from. Okay? This is an opportunity with your child at home and being an adult. The goal is to make your child a prosperous member of society one day. Okay? So just making them pay rent and just walking away from the rest of it, no, that's not going to make them a prosperous member of society, because you're teaching them, again, even if, and this is if you don't give them back the money. If you keep the money and spend it on, you know, whatever, yeah, they got to get used to just paying rent. And you know, what's so hard about paying rent? You write a check, or you do it on your bank, you know, through your phone. That's still, you know, that lesson, you know, or just teaching them, well, there's some money just going to go away and you're just not going to get anything for it. No, you're getting a place to live, you know. But at the end of the day, too, you got to think about, if my child has money coming in, if I can take this money and help them grow this money so that maybe in 20 or 30 years, you know, or 5 or 10 years, they're in a better financial situation as their parent, that's my job. Okay, that is my job, to help my child get to that next step. And by taking a chunk of their money just to show them, you know, this is how it is, just welcome to life, I don't see that as beneficial to my child of beating him or her down when I don't have to. Yeah, life is going to handle them. Life is going to beat them down like that. But while they're under my roof, maybe I can see what we can do so that when it comes time for life to beat them down, maybe they'll be a little bit ahead. You know, maybe, but you know, you teach your child these things while they're under your roof. You can, you know, go out and, again, not buy an $80,000 car to go back and forth to work, you know, because all their friends are doing it. Buy a Prius. Nothing against Prius, you know, but I'm saying buy a 3-year-old car, you know, because the car depreciates when you walk it off the lot. So teach your children to have delayed gratification. Okay, they want a new bedroom set. Okay, instead of going down into the rent-to-own place and paying 2 or 3 times what you would pay, save your money for a couple of months. Go and buy it. You know, teach your children about good credit. Because here's the thing: people with bad credit don't understand the benefit of good credit, and I don't mean that as an insult. I mean, when I got my car, I bought my car a couple years ago. I remember the sticker, and I used to have a copy of it I kept. The sticker had 3 different payments on it, car payments, you know, and based on your credit score, your credit rating, you would pay one of those 3. You would pay one of those 3 payments. Now, think about that. The difference in the top one and the bottom payment was $100 a month. So bad credit will cost you an extra $100 a month. That's $1,200 a year. You get a 5-year car loan and you're paying $6,000 or whatever extra for a car. Why? Because you got bad credit. So if you got a child in your household who's an adult, who's living at home for whatever reason, teach them about good and bad credit. Teach them the benefit of good credit. My co-host Vicky is on, and we do the podcast from time to time on travel. And Vicky, thank you for tuning in. The benefits of good credit. Vicky's a star at that. She can tell you all about that. Rich people with good credit don't pay as much for stuff that poor people with bad credit do. Believe that. Okay, so that's a lesson that you want to teach your child instead of saying, just give me rent every month. Teach your child. I mean, as a parent, your job is to set your child up for success. That is your job, is to set your child up so that when the time comes, that they say in Black Panther, a father who has not prepared his child for when he is not here anymore has not prepared his child. Okay, so as a parent, your job is to prepare your child for when you cannot be there to hold them. Okay, so this is how you do it. Again, writing a check, they're going to learn something. They're going to be mad about that check going away every month. But tell them, no, how do you make your money work for you? Why are you here with me? When you move out into your own place, yeah, you're going to have to write a check and it's going to go. And you're going to learn that lesson with a quickness. But while you're here, let's make all our money work. All our money going to work for us. It's not going to work for everybody else to teach you a lesson. I can teach you that lesson without making somebody else get rich off our money. Okay? I don't know what happened. It just quit on me. I apologize for that. I don't know what happened, but Facebook just burped or farted or whatever, and it just quit on me. So I'm going to keep going where I was going, and this will just be a 2-part video. But my point is, while you have that child in your house, teach them. Teach them about their retirement. In my opinion, in this day and age, the 401k that we all get from work, it's not for retirement. That 401k is really for your next, what time it is, okay. That 401k is really for your next emergency, your next financial emergency. That's what your 401k is for, okay. You hope it gets to retirement before you need it, but if it doesn't, it's for the next emergency. So teach your children when they get their first job to start putting money away, particularly if they have a situation where their job matches their 401k contributions, then put that in there because you automatically make 100% on that money right up front. Teach them how to look into their 401k and see what the investment options are. Okay? Because again, money gonna work. Money gonna work for you or it's gonna work for somebody else, but money gonna work. So teach your children to have their money working for themselves. Your school loans. What's more important, paying me rent or paying off those school loans you have? If your kid, people come out of school nowadays got school loans. Pay that off. Pay that off again with a quickness. That's the first thing you do is pay off them school loans, okay? Because them things will hurt you. Best believe that them school loans will hurt you, okay? Pay them off. I'd rather my child pay those off than paying me rent because that's going to hurt him in the long run if he doesn't pay those school loans off. And as his father, again, my job as a parent is to help set my child up for success. That's my job, okay? And by him paying off those school loans, by him paying the cable bill, by him paying his phone bill, by him taking $500 a month and throwing it into an investment, okay? That is my way of trying to set him up for success. Teach your children to not try to keep up with the Joneses. A lot of people in their age group will be living at home, but buying the flashy cars, buying the flashy clothes, going on crazy vacations all the time, spending the money as quick as they get it. Why? Because they'll be saying, I got time in the future. I always got time in the future to handle this. I can save in the future sometime. I don't have to worry about saving now, because I got time. That's what a lot of young people think. I always got time, so I don't have to worry about saving now, okay? Teach them. You got to start saving immediately. That's the nature of our society right now. You never know when something's going to happen. You never know. So the best thing you can do is start saving your money as soon as you can. I'm not saying live like a hermit. I'm just saying, again, Your money's going to work for somebody. It's going to work for you, or it's going to work for Walmart, or it's going to work for Amazon. Make your money work for you. I said before, invest in stocks. If you don't know how, learn. Go on YouTube, maybe go down to the library. But there are tons of free courses. Even I've done a couple of shows, The Secret Math of Money, on Investing 101, how to start investing in stocks. I may not be the best teacher of it. Fine, there's thousands of other teachers. So take one, go on to YouTube, just Google Investing 101. And there are tons of licensed financial people who will be happy to teach you, for free. Okay? But the thing is, like I said, there's no right or wrong answer to the question. It depends on your circumstance and your situation. Okay? But don't have the knee-jerk reaction, I guess is what I'm saying. Don't do the knee-jerk thing of, oh, kids got to pay rent. Why? Because I'm teaching them discipline. How? Well, they got to pay it every month. Let them pay their cell phone bill. I'm not trying to take my kids' money. Unless I need it, to keep the house afloat. If I'm okay, keep your money, but do something with it. Those are the lessons to me that are more important to teach your child. Those lessons than having them pay rent. Put them on a budget so that they can see, okay, I gotta invest. I got to pay my car note. I got to pay these couple of bills. I got to pay these school loans. I got to get these things paid off. Oh, okay. I have $300 a month extra. Teach your child how to grocery shop. Everybody knows how to go into Walmart and buy groceries. But it's different when you buying groceries because you got to cook. Okay, very different. When you got to cook the meal, when you're not just buying something to snack on versus, okay, I got to buy some stuff because I want to eat. Okay, because I want to eat tonight. And nothing like that. You get, and because when they move out, and everybody remembers that first apartment, you moved out to your apartment and you sat there, you got all your stuff spread out, and you're like, I ain't got nothing in the refrigerator. So teach your children how to go shopping, how to compare prices. Remember I said be about your money? If you teach your child to be about their money, then when they decide to get a car, they'll shop around for the best rate. When they decide to buy a house, they'll shop around for the best rate. When they decide to go on vacation, they'll do their research, okay? And they'll shop around for the best price, the best deal, okay? But the goal is to teach your children to be about their money. That is the goal, to teach them to be about their money. You teach them to be about their money, okay? That is a lesson that they will take with them the rest of their lives, okay? So again, I'm not saying don't charge them rent. I'm saying look at what you're trying to do, what you're trying to teach them. Paying rent to you is a simple thing. Depending on your relationship with your child, there can be some anger or animosity. All right, I got to pay rent. I'm getting out of here as soon as possible. I don't want that relationship with my child. Okay? I want my child to understand I'm trying to teach him something. And him handing me a check every month, what is that teaching them? How to write a check and hand it to me. If I say, here, take this money and you're going to invest it. I'm not going to invest it for you, but I'm going to make sure you invest it. And I'm going to make sure you just don't put it in something and leave it and walk away. This is your money. So I'm going to teach him, or try to teach him, how to watch his money. Because remember, money gonna work for somebody. When it comes out of your pocket and you go buy something, it's working for somebody else. When you take it and let it sit in the bank, it's working for the bank. That's money gonna work. Money don't care who is working for. Money is gonna work. And that's what you gotta realize. You might as well make your money work for you. Okay? So again, that's a kind of a touchy subject with some people. I said, for me, my personal because of the relationship I have with my child and the fact that I've tried to have conversations about money with my child for the last 7 or 8 years. I'm not bragging, I'm saying, here's where we are and here's how we got there. Okay? If you've never had a conversation with your child about money, you need to have it, because as unexperienced as you might think you are, you're not. You got a lot of experience, okay, dealing with money. Even if you've been going paycheck to paycheck, you have a lot of experience with money. Pour that into your child. A lot of us went through that phase where you had really bad credit because you didn't understand the benefits of good credit. And now you understand, getting this 800 credit score, I'm just getting boom, because I'm telling you now, good credit, people with good credit don't pay as much for stuff as people without good credit. Believe that, okay? If you got good credit, you pay less. And that might sound bass backwards, but it's true. The people who have the worst credit are the people that pay the most, So teach your children how to work on their credit, to keep their credit good, so they never have to have those situations in life. But those are the kinds of lessons, to me, you want to teach your child. Teach them how to clean house. My mother used to say, boy, you might not get married. I don't want to come home to a nasty house. Now, my house ain't spotless, but it's, put like this. Somebody pop up at my door right now, I'm not going to be too embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? That's the goal, not to be too embarrassed. But those are the things that we need to be teaching our children while we have them. If we have them come home after college or after high school and live at home, but they're an adult technically, keep teaching them so that when the time comes when they can move out or they choose to move out, that they can do so and not fall on their face, not spend the first year wandering in the woods trying to figure out what to do. That's the goal, again, to make your child a productive member of society. So all I'm asking you is this. Before you decide what you're going to do with respect to your child, your grown child, and paying rent, before you decide, think about what it is you're trying to accomplish. Not individually, but in the big picture. What is it you're trying to accomplish? And then once you've decided on that big picture, then you can break it down into little pieces and say, I'm doing this to teach this. I'm doing that to teach that. And be square about it with your child. Say, hey, this is what I'm trying to instill into you. So this is why I'm doing this, okay? This is why I want you to take this money and put it here. This is why I want you to build your budget. This is why I want you to pay off your school loans as soon as you can. This is why I've given you this monthly bill to pay, okay? But this is why, because we're not rocket scientists. Your children are smart. How many movies, and I know it's fictional, but how many movies you see where somebody's doing something for somebody and they don't know why they're doing it and they're pissed at them because they're doing it, not realizing the real true reason that the person is doing this thing to them. Worst case, I had a friend, I'm not going to give much details, but they had been working a lot of hours and their partner broke up with them because they didn't know why they were suddenly working, all these hours and they weren't spending time with them. And the reason the person was working all those hours, the way the story was told to me, was so they could buy this person an engagement ring. Yeah, the person had broken up with them because they thought they didn't want to be with them anymore. So be careful not giving people that information, okay? It's your child. If you're trying to be square with them and tell them the lessons and the tools you're trying to give them, but while you have them in your home, you got this adult that you can mold and create and better create because they're not children anymore, but you have this person who's, now you can really mold them into a productive member of society, a good person. Okay, if you've laid that foundation, that's a whole nother show. But while you have that time with them, use it wisely. Whatever you decide to do, in this case, and I keep saying it, I want to say it one more time. Think about what you're trying to accomplish. Don't just do it because Why shouldn't they pay? You know, you're still raising your child. They're an adult, but you're still raising your child. You know, I never got that. I never understood that as a child. As a parent, I understand that. Yeah, my child can be 35 years old. I'm still going to be raising him because I have more experience in him and something I could pour into him to help him get by things. So anyway, thank you for tuning back in. I don't know what happened. Facebook, like I said, Facebook farted and shut me off. So I got back on. I'll see if I can try to put these 2 episodes together somehow in a video. Make one video of it, and then post that. But for the meantime, they both should be on Facebook Live. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for listening. If anything I said works for you, cool. If it doesn't, cool. But just think about what you're doing. Anyway, everybody else, thank you. Have a blessed Memorial Day weekend. Be safe, be happy. Take care. Bye-bye.